He's like the kind of guy that will come to you while you're in the middle of a set, like lifting something heavy. Clearly, you're focused on the lift, and he's gonna walk up and try to talk to you while you're lifting. I mean, this guy drives me nuts, right? I'm paying this $5 per month every month, right? And I never use it. I never use it. And I've been doing this for like years and years and years and years, like 8, 9 years. And so I just thought one day, like, why do I keep giving these people $5 per month to be a member of this club when I don't use it at all? My mission this week with this message is to pick you up. Now, I know that sometimes in your life, you get to a point where it seems like there are things that you want to achieve that just seem unattainable. Okay. And what I'm going to be explaining to you this week is one of the simple secrets to opening up possibilities in your life. And this is something that it's like right there in front of you. Okay. And I'm just going to explain to you what it is. It's right there in front of you. So I want you to stick with me, stick around and hear this out. Okay. I am Mark Johnson, the founder of BouncePep, bringing you ideas for a fit and flourishing future. I am also the youngest son of Bill Johnson. Thank you for tuning in. I want you to go ahead and leave some comments. I want to hear what you think, okay? Also, please hit the like button if I say anything that helps you out. Now, with that said, let's start off with the concept of cutting fat, because if you can understand this simple concept, then everything that I say afterwards is going to make sense. It's all going to fall in place. But you know that if you are a bit rotund, you have a bit more body fat than you would like to. It does have some drawbacks. You know, maybe you get more fatigued quicker than you like to. It can slow you down a bit. You know, you're not as mobile as you'd like to be. And so one of the things that you might be interested in doing, of course, is actually cutting back on the amount of body fat that you have. And that's all fine and dandy. Now, with that said, when we talk about fat, I just want to point out, in fairness to fat, that fat is a macronutrient. And that means that your body actually must have fat, just like it must have carbohydrates, just as it must have protein, water. Okay, your body must have fat. So fat is just not all bad. So let me just get that out of the way. Especially unsaturated fat, you know, your body likes that. It needs that. Okay, fat is going to help you store energy. So when you're low on basically other sources of energy from protein or carbohydrates, your body can tap into fat reserves to supply energy, right? So that's a good thing about fat. Fat is essential for your cellular health. It's essential for your brain and your nervous system functioning, right? For vitamin absorption. So there are all kinds of good things that fat can do for your body. But as with most things in life, too much is not good. It's like when you see a man walking around, he's like 350 pounds, 400 pounds, right? And it's too much fat. Right, so there's a good healthy amount of fat, and then there's, you know, just obviously too much fat, where, you know, it's starting to kind of get in the way of a better quality of life, right? So this is what we're talking about today, is the idea of cutting fat. Okay, and so what do you do to cut fat? You maybe change up your diet some, right, so that you stop eating so much fatty food. And maybe it's really more about the kinds of fat that you're eating, right? So you have, of course, saturated fats, and then, you know, you have unsaturated fats. You want to be eating more unsaturated fats than the saturated fats, right? So it's not as simple as just saying fat, 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 fat. Fat is not all the same. It's more sophisticated than that. But, you know, you make some changes to your diet. Maybe don't eat so much sugar, you know, cut back on the salt a little bit. Maybe you do some portion control, so you're not just, you know, maybe you don't have to get the biggest plate that you can find all the time and eat everything on the plate. But, you know, you do some things in terms of your diet to cut back your fat. And then you get in the gym, you start working out, you start doing some cardio, and you start lifting weights. If you lift weights, that raises your metabolism, helps you burn fat faster. And so you start doing things physically, of course, as well as in terms of your dietary habits to reduce the amount of fat, right? And then this is going to basically provide more energy. It's going to pick you up as you slim down. You're going to perceive more energy. You're going to perceive that you're lighter because you are lighter. It's going to make it easier to move. You're not going to get fatigued as fast. It's going to be easier to climb the stairs. Like, these kinds of things happen when you cut fat. And so what happens is cutting fat opens up new possibilities in terms of your health and in terms of your mobility or fitness. So it opens up new possibilities in your life, right? So this idea carries over. I want you to think about this idea of cutting fat, because essentially, and if we take it outside of the gym and we think of it in just everyday terms, what we're really talking about is cutting clutter out of your life. Now, this is the simple key that I was telling you about. Sometimes, as a matter of fact, many times, the thing that is keeping you from fulfilling your potential, fulfilling that dream, fulfilling that goal, or whatever it is. It could be something simple. This doesn't have to be some huge dream, but just something relatively simple that you really have wanted to do, but it seems out of reach. One of the easiest things that you can do is look at your life and start to eliminate the fat, okay? In other words, cut the clutter. How much clutter do you have, and how many things do you have in your life right now that are just cluttering it, that are just actually unnecessary? It's like weight holding you down and restricting your options. Okay? Because the more clutter that you have, the more fat you're carrying in your life, the more your options are going to be restricted. And I guarantee you, if you start to look, you will find clutter in your life that really doesn't have any purpose for being there. It's like you have just collected it along the way and just kept it. And so what you're going to need to do is shed some of that clutter. You know, I can talk about this because I've lived it. I understand how you feel, and I understand one of the things that you can do is this to get out of your predicament. You want to open up possibilities. Start examining where the clutter in your life lies. Let me give you an example, a simple example. This is kind of a metaphor for clutter. When was the last time you opened up your closet and did an honest, like an inventory? Okay, you did an inventory of everything in your closet with butt naked honesty, and you said, "What? How much stuff do I have in here that I have not worn in ages, or maybe I wear it, but it's like one time a year or once every 2 years. Like, how much stuff in this closet do I actually need? How many outfits, how many shirts do I actually, how many pairs of pants, how many, for you ladies, how many skirts do I actually need? Like, what is all of this stuff in my closet that is just sitting here on a hanger for months, years on end, and never being used?" Okay, that's called clutter, right? And what happens is when you start to take out some of those clothes, maybe you throw them away, or maybe you give them to someone you know or something, or just donate it to charity, whatever, but you get them out of your life. When you get that stuff out of your closet, you find that your closet opens up. Everything opens up and you're like, holy moly, I didn't realize how much space I actually have, right? And so your life works like this as well. You have things that can be cluttering your life, getting in the way of the possibilities that are actually there for you. And sometimes what will happen is you will have things in your life, for instance, that you enjoy, but they actually keep you from getting what you really want. And so you have to give up. First of all, you have to give up some things, eliminate some things that just serve no purpose at all. And then you may have to maybe eliminate some things that maybe bring you a little bit of joy, but they are blocking your blessings as well, right? And I had there's this guy in the gym that I go to, and he's a great example of like uh, like in terms of like a relationship clutter, right? Some of you have relationships that create clutter in your life. In other words, it's a relationship with someone that doesn't really contribute anything, and it just kind of takes your energy, but doesn't really lead anywhere, right? Um, and there's this guy in this gym that I frequent, and he loves to come by. Now, I don't mind talking to people, and I'm certainly approachable and all that stuff. But he's like the kind of guy that will come to you while you're in the middle of a set, like lifting something heavy. Clearly, you're focused on the lift, and he's gonna walk up and try to talk to you while you're lifting. I mean, this guy drives me nuts, right? And it's like that. It's like the kind of relationship that you don't need, right? Now, the guy, he's well-meaning guy. He doesn't mean any harm, but he also doesn't realize that he's in the way, right? And so you may have relationships like that. You may have people who are cluttering your life, and you may need a way to, uh, you know, cut back the time, reduce the opportunities to interact with those types of people because they're not bringing anything useful or positive to your life. They're just kind of getting in the way, right? So that's a type of clutter. And sometimes you have to look at your relationships. Do I have people in my life that are clutter, right? You have to do that sometimes, just like cleaning out your closet. You know, another thing that happened. This is kind of recently. I was looking at my bills. Okay, we all have bills, so I'm sure you can relate to this. I was looking at my bills, and I was on this kick about just eliminating some things that I don't need, right? Because I'm getting rid of the clutter, just like I'm explaining to you right now. And I had this it's like a membership to it comes from my life insurance company, and it's a membership to a little club that they have where they offer discounts on restaurants and travel and amusement parks and all kinds of entertainment and everything. But you have to pay. It's not much. It's like $5 per month. It's not a big deal in terms of the amount of money. It's peanuts basically. But I'm paying this $5 per month every month, right? And I never use it. I never use it. And I've been doing this for like years and years and years and years, like 8, 9 years. And so I just thought one day, like, why do I keep giving these people $5 per month to be a member of this club when I don't use it at all? Like, I'm literally deriving no benefit from this $5 that I'm paying every month. So why don't I just get rid of it? So I called the place up. The lady's like, oh, why do you want to, eliminate your membership? I said, well, or cancel your membership. I said, well, I just don't use it. I just don't use it. Don't need it. No, thank you. And so I cut it. Now, granted, $5 per month, $60 per year. Look, it's peanuts, but that's a nice dinner for a couple of people one night. Hey, it's something. And again, it's just the idea of having things in your life that prevent you from taking better opportunities, right? To me, I'd rather have that $60. That's a better opportunity to me rather than giving this insurance company $5 that I'm never going to see again. I'd rather go out to dinner. Better opportunity, right? So things like that, okay? Things like that. Clean out your closet. Some of you guys, bills are such a great example because some of you guys are paying for things that you don't use much and don't really need much, but you're paying for it almost like on autopilot. Take a look at your life, okay? And understand that sometimes when something feels really out of reach, the reason is because you're carrying way too much fat. And if you eliminate the fat, okay, then what seems almost impossible will just start to slowly come within your reach. I'm telling you, this is one of the keys. If you're down and you feel like you just can't get there, look at your life and start to ask yourself, what can you eliminate? What is just creating clutter in your life? What can you eliminate that would open up more possibilities? Because I guarantee you there's something. There's more than one thing that you could, like, everyone has clutter in their, I don't know anyone who doesn't have clutter in their life. Okay. But most people don't really follow through and take a look and start eliminating things. They just let the clutter just sit. It's just like hoarding, right? Okay. So don't hoard all this clutter. Don't just hang on to all this fat in your life. Cut back. When you cut back on the fat, then possibilities will start to come within your reach. Trust me on this one. Trust me on this one. I know because this is something that I do. When I cut back on clutter, inevitably new possibilities open up. So this is my advice for you today. Okay? You don't have to take it, but I recommend that you do, especially if you've been a little bit down and feeling like that thing that you're really going after is out of reach. Okay? So I want you to take this with you. Talk to you next time.